Today, I'm going to teach you guys how to pass the BS tutors of recruiters, hiring managers as senior software engineers. I will go into detail on exactly what to do before, during, and after the interview process so you can get and pass interviews consistently. I promise you that by the end of this video, you will know exactly how to find a stable job in today's market. To give you more context about us, 2025 alone, we helped over 50 engineers find better jobs in less than 12 weeks, usually in the range of 100K to 300K annually. Our mission is to help tech professionals find not just any job, but the right job for them. We also operate internationally, wherever it is and whatever it is. We got you covered. Let's jump in. Before the interview, kind of have this mindset that, interviews are just a game, and you know how you have to just know how to play it, and companies lie to you too. So why can't you, right? So kind of your livelihood depends on it. Companies again also literally have layoff quotas. So don't take it personally if you got laid off, and be ruthless about it, because they're kind of treating us as a resource, and it's business. Also, nobody's giving you feedback, which is a very, very, very common problem. Generally, before the interview, I would love for people to research the company, product values, etc., for them to prepare their pitch, questions, and salary range. Ideally, you have to tell them 50% on top. And of course, remember the details, maybe write them down somewhere and mention them, casually during the interview so you can stand out. That's kind of a bit of a preparation on your end that you have to do. As far as resume and LinkedIn, right? So I do have resources inside school. This is the LinkedIn checklist. This is inside the classroom section, completely for free. Feel free to go over it. It's kind of a neat guide that I put myself. And here there's a checklist which is even more compacted. It's kind of an old image, but whatever. But yeah, if you go through this, I can promise you that you can kind of go up to the industry standards. There is also the resume optimizations guide. Feel free to optimize your resume so it looks somewhere along like this. Maybe for you guys that have a lot of experience, I'll generally limit my experience to the past 5-10 years, and maybe 2 to 3 positions, just so it fits more and it's not overwhelming for people that are reading it. But also we also get into that, right? So, but yeah, it should be neat. It should follow this format, no images, but it's all in the guide here, and I will put a link in the comments or description for you guys to check it out. Don't review your age on your resume. I feel like removing dates, graduation years, and phrases like 20 plus years of experience that let employers calculate how old are you, right? Age bias happens behind closed doors, and you never know it's the reason that you were ghosted. A lot of the times people report that everything went smooth, everything is totally fine, but in the end of the day, people get ghosted. Right? So nobody really tells you what's happening. I would generally limit your resume to the last 10 years of experience. Put the rest on LinkedIn or a separate document you can share once you are already in the interview phase, or you can just prepare multiple interviews, multiple resumes, sorry, for the different types of titles that you're going to apply for. Here, your number one goal is to get the interview. That's where you can explain the context, change their minds, showcase the depth of your experience. The resume is just to get you in the doors. Now, do whatever you can to not get filtered out by ATS filters. The community, there is some resources on how to alternative methods to application, because the application process is broken. But yeah, the hint on that is networking. You can check out the more resources there. So if they don't understand that you're the right fit in 5 to 10 seconds, you'll get filtered out. It's simple as that. Imagine it from their perspective. A recruiter is going through hundreds, if not maybe thousands of resumes every day. Probably hundreds, not in the thousands. But you get my point, right? You have very low time to impress people. So it's really important for you to make it as punchy as possible and grab their attention. Companies also have unrealistic standards, and you must fill them up. So I usually advise people to apply pretty much everywhere. But I don't know. Right now, I don't even really say people to apply. Maybe targeted applications are one way, but I essentially advise people to have multiple resumes for different titles. Maybe tweak them up a bit with AI to include more keywords that are based on the job listing, but don't spend too much time on targeted applications. I feel like there is a lot of ways that you can do it in the wrong way, and if you don't know what you're doing, you can just be wasting time and even handicapping yourself. Remove any job gaps. They don't care about layoffs, budget cuts, medical or like family emergencies, or that your career breaks, whatnot. They just care if you can do the job and if you are a reliable person. If they see, oh, you didn't have a job for 3 months here, for half a year here, maybe even more, that's a huge red flag for them. That means that you're unreliable, that you might quit. And here I can also include like each job should be at least a year and some, especially when you're dealing with people with a lot of experience, right? So make sure to, fill those job gaps. Have no shame about it, honestly. It's better to go into the interview and tell them something rather than getting prematurely filtered out and having no way to explain it, right? Don't really advise people to have freelancing or like personal projects work here, with some caveats, right? Set as like a main like work experience, right? And LinkedIn can also, you can basically put if it's a contracting work, if it's like self-employed, whatever, just turn that into a corporate experience, or just remove that and just fill up whatever it is, right? So just reframe it as if you were working corporate all along. If you have a lot of like contracting roles, you're going to get contacted for more contracting roles. And if you want to get out of contracting, well, that's kind of the answer. By mismatching titles, I mean, like, let's say like one job you were like a full stack developer, then the other job you were like a DevOps, or maybe it was like another like technical position. They like experience that's accumulated over time. Feel free to include our common titles to hit multiple keywords. Is like full stack developer, full stack engineer, front end developer, back end developer. I mean, essentially these are overlapping titles, but they include like multiple keywords, so recruiters can more easily find you if they search for one or the other. Or like software engineering is like very broad, right? But still you can include that, because sometimes they tell them, oh, search for software engineers, but they don't really know what a full stack is, whatever. Or search like with a software engineer with React. Include all relevant tech for the role. So based on like 5, 10, 15 job listings, just see what the tech role keywords are, and you can go from there. The mindset before the interview, it's a matching game, so go find your perfect match. Essentially, just think of it like Tinder. Like, don't get discouraged along the way. Bad companies will always want to hire you for less than the market, even if you are the best. Even at like really big companies, you guys would be surprised by it, but like some of like the big corp. So yeah, search for companies that essentially value high end talent, and they fight for it. This can be like startups that got investment. This can be companies in like really profitable industries. This can be maybe even local companies that do understand that if they pay for talent, but companies gotta have money, right? If you want to get or more, but if you don't, like, that's completely fine. I would rather value the company rather than the money itself. But again, valuing isn't just in money. It's about how people are treated, essentially, and what the culture is, right? So, but yeah, if it doesn't work out with one company, just try the next one. It's just a numbers game after all. Don't get discouraged. And ideally, you would want to always look for new opportunities. Job security is kind of not real. We see it over and over again. People are getting laid off, massively laid off. There is all sorts of stuff going on, right? Here is what you guys have to do during the interviews. The general stuff is, if you master the interview process, you won't be without work ever again. That's why I recommend people to never stop interviewing, because the standards are changing. You gotta verify if you're up to speed with whatever they're asking you. Interviews kind of are all over the place. What I would say is, like, give off a positive energy, be nice, be humble, likable, and be energetic. The last thing you want to do is go in there, like, be really egoistic and be an ass, right? So don't do that. I know you probably are really experienced and you are the expert, and now you don't feel like one because you've been searching for so much time. But man, it depends. Your livelihood kind of depends on it. So keep it casual, smile, laugh, joke, listen, acknowledge what they say, like, match their energy, like, not also avoid conversational topics. Like, the amount of people that I get into even like calls with me, and they're just like starting to complain and like blame external circumstances. Don't be like those people. Sure, the market is really bad, but your situation is not going to change, right? I can be kind of direct here, but that's just how it is. You can sit all day and complain about stuff, but it's not going to change. People that resonate with you will are more likely to open doors for you. You gotta like relate with people. Don't just make it all about yourself. Whatever. Try to find similar stuff between each other, between you and the interviewer, mutual friends, mutual interest, maybe even something quirky. Whatever it is, mention it briefly and like move on, right? Don't like spend time talking about all of this stuff. Be confident in your answers, but don't pretend you know everything. Like, remember being humble. Make sure they understand you can do the job in the right way. If the interview is online, clean out your room, be in a quiet place, turn on your camera. Like, these are the basic stuff. Wear something nice. It doesn't have to be a suit, but you also see me, right? Like, I just have like a nice shirt on, like that, like that's it, like nice clean shirt. Sure, if you don't want your background to be seen, just like put something on the background. But essentially, if your background can be visible and can be really clean, that's amazing, right? If the interview is offline, again, wear good clothes. No need to be too official, but extra effort goes a long way, like long way. You guys would be surprised. Like, if you're hired like 1 month in, whatever the hell you want, but during the interviews, you got to make a good impression, and there's no taking back if you make the wrong one. Questions prepared beforehand that you cannot Google or you cannot see on the job listing. Like, don't ask meaningful, like non-meaningful questions. Like, I see it all the time with people that they just ask something that's in the job listing itself. Don't do that, please. I also have another video on that about like the top 30 interview questions to prep you better. I'm going to like link it somewhere. It's in my YouTube. Just, I feel like, just go ahead and watch it. It's really nice. In those HR and like hiring managers, include details from your research where possible. Remember, before the interview, we researched and we prepared. Common honesty doesn't work here, and you probably get filtered out. Sometimes if you're saying stuff that's like too direct, it's like even like down to earth some stuff. Like, they're here to judge you if you can actually do the job or not. If they find that you won't be able to do the job for whatever reason, like, I spoke with a veteran that couldn't find a job for so much long time. Like, this guy has PTSD and they're filtering him out. Like it's it's a world out there. That's what I'm going to say. The way he got to not get filtered out, he just didn't mention it. Right. So he just stopped mentioning it, that he has, maybe it was not PTSD, maybe I'm wrong, right? But I know he had like something going on from serving, right? So don't say if you're currently unemployed. There will be more questions and possible judgments. Sure, if they like brought it up and if you feel uncomfortable like lying about it, this is usually going to leave more questions and possible judgments. I don't really condone lying, but sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do, especially if you are in a tough situation. And I totally understand it. You rather pay the bills and get rent and pay the mortgage rather than, and if you can't do the job, like, do whatever you want to do in those like HR hiring managers. It doesn't matter. Honestly, they taste on the wrong stuff, and if you can do the job just as well, and you are actually a good employee, right? You can do whatever you can here. Honestly, some people, they take a layoff in a good way, but honestly, I'll just say that I'm working in the current workplace. We'll handle again the background checks, whatever. I'll speak after the interview, right? So, but yeah, here is, don't give them objections. If you do, address them right away. So whatever objections you give them that you might not be the good fit, just address them right away so they don't think anything of it. The how are you questions, you're always good and positive. There isn't another answer for this. Don't complain about your past employer. Don't ask about money unless you're prompted to. Have a salary range prepared. Don't tell them how much you actually earn unless you want to earn less. Right? So don't tell them what you actually earn. Tell them what the standard for the industry is right now based on your research. And if they want to undercut you, fine. Like, if you want to take a pay cut right now, there is no shame in it. It's just about being paid fairly, and they will undercut you if they can. That's just the game. During the technical interview, think and ask questions before you answer. So take a breath, think about the question, even ask follow-up questions if you have to. Just make sure you got the question right. This will help you being less nervous, and it will give you more time to think, essentially. Technical people don't decide how much you make. So in this route, you want to show expertise and appeal to the interviewer so you get ranked higher. And essentially, like even here, I have like I thought like I bombed one interview, but then they told me, oh, because you're such a cool guy, I can see that you're on the team, right? They just want somebody to help them with the work and to be there for them, right? So don't fake expertise. It looks very bad. It looks very bad. I rather hire somebody humble than somebody who thinks he knows everything. I know you have 10, 15, 20 years of experience. That doesn't really matter, honestly. Like if you're not able to answer the questions that they ask you, nothing is going to matter. And it's probably going to offend some people because they're like, oh, like I'm like the go-to guy, whatever. No, the interview process is vastly different from the work we do. You can be amazing at your work but bomb every interview. So don't try to fake expertise here. Even ask if you're like, oh, I'm really not sure about that, but can you elaborate what it is? I never heard of it. Maybe that this is better than trying to guess everything. About the live coding stuff, communicate, explain what you're doing, ask questions, cover edge cases, right? You might not get to the end solution, but if you talk through with the interviewer itself, that's going to be better. Again, after the interview, what about the background checks? Alex, what if they background check me? I don't want to lie to companies, whatever. Like, think about it. If companies are that worried about employees like lying to them, they're not really a good company, man. If they're that distrustful in people right away, they made a lot of bad hires. Why did they make a lot of bad hires? Because the process before them is not really good. Companies don't do background checks. They evaluate properly beforehand, and they don't care. They don't care if you were without a job for some time, right? So follow-ups are gold. If you follow up after the interview, gratitude. Maybe you got some interesting resources that you discussed during the interview. Whatever, send them in the follow-ups. Bring value to the table. They expect negotiations to happen, so it's you kind of have to negotiate. You can generally negotiate even like 10, 15, sometimes like 20, 25% more. And market salaries are kind of predefined, so only the exceptional developers actually get a top percentage. So expect actually what's possible for your case, and be honest about it. With the first offer, they're going to try to undercut you, right? You can bite into that if you want. I would generally advise anybody to negotiate. Don't be fearful around that. I mean, if you don't want to, sure, but you're probably losing money. And again, it's business in the end. Don't take it personally. Everyone should feel like they're getting the better end of the deal. Essentially, that's how offers are made. If you guys need any help, you can apply to work one-on-one with me and my own technical mentor to land the right job for you in the next 3 months. Our programs are only for like serious people that actually want to change their situation and invest in themselves. That's why we also cancel 50% of our applicants. If you're curious, there is a link in like the comments on the descriptions. You can like take it from there. It's also in the school community.